A very special interview for you guys today on TYT Sports. We have YouTuber VimtoJoe. Vimto, how are you today, my friend?
I'm great, thanks. Rick, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. A lot of people are going to say, who the hell is VimtoJoe? Well, we're introducing him to you. Basically, what you need to know about him, he is a humongous soccer fan here in the States, football fan abroad. We won't even get into that discussion because it won't end well for either of us. Yeah, probably a bad idea. But basically, VimtoJoe is going to potentially contribute to TYT Sports. He is going to provide a lot of commentary on FIFA 14 games and basically try and help out all of you guys who play FIFA religiously like myself, and hopefully Vimto and I will potentially play one another and I'll get my ass handed to me on FIFA 14. But aside from that, I basically want to introduce everybody to VimtoJoe. So Joe, let me ask you this. You are from Derby, England. Where exactly is that located, my friend?
That is the East Midlands, so it's slightly central, slightly to the east of centre, and it's a very small place. I guess if you're in the United States, you won't have heard of it. You'll probably have heard of it if you live in the United Kingdom. But it's a nice place. But I was actually born in Manchester. I'm guessing most of you have heard of Manchester, mainly due to the football clubs.
No, never heard of Manchester. Never heard of Manchester.
No, you haven't heard of it. I live in Derby now, but I was born in Manchester, but only there for 2 years, so I usually say I'm from Derby if someone asks.
Who is your team exactly? Who do you support? Not on FIFA 14, but in the real world, one would say.
My team is Manchester United, actually, and I'm not a Glory supporter, as a lot of you might have already considered, but no, as I just said, I was born there, so I've got my roots. My parents were born there, my grandparents were born there, and they all supported Manchester United.
Should Manchester United fire David Moyes very quickly?
No, that's not fire him, not now, but if at the end of the season and we don't finish top 4, then I think you've got to consider it.
Now, is that because of the past history, the treasured history of the Red Devils, and basically that the fans need to have a top 4 finish every single year or the manager simply gets sacked?
Well, we don't need to have a top 4 finish every single season. I mean, before Sir Alex Ferguson, it's a long time ago, it was probably 1980s, early 80s, we didn't finish in the top 4. In fact, we finished mid-table a lot of the time, and Sir Alex Ferguson has transformed United completely, and I think he's with a lot of Man United fans are very spoiled. We expect to finish first or second every single season. But I don't think you can take a title-winning side, a team that finished first, and then not finish in the top 4. I think that's inexcusable, really. I think David Moyes, he got Everton to 6th. He even got them to 4th at one point. So if you can't get Man United, who are a team with better players, to 4th, then I don't know what you can say, really.
Better players and a lot more funds at Manchester United. We'll get back to that in just a moment. But let me ask you this. How long have you been playing FIFA 14, or the FIFA series? Let me ask you that, the FIFA series in general.
Well, the first FIFA I played properly was FIFA 02, so that was 12 years ago now.
Wow.
But I have had earlier FIFAs ranging from 1996 was the very earliest I had, and that was on the PC. So yeah, I've played, I'd say, over 15 versions of FIFA.
And who do you play with on the... By the way, that's incredible. So kudos to you. Not how long, but who is your favorite team to play with in the game?
It's a hard question, really, because it changes from game to game. It depends on which team are doing well at the moment in real life. But obviously, being a Manchester United fan, I try to go that team a lot. But it really does vary. I don't like choosing the very best teams all the time. I like to change it up a bit. So teams like Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, teams that are good but not the very best, I like being them as well.
Well, if you go with BVB, I feel like that's always the trendy pick, at least this year, and a lot of people consider them to be one of those star teams because, look, they're on the up, obviously, and their players are in form. So when you're playing FIFA 14, their stats will be up as well, and their overall rating will be up as well. But you said that you don't always like to play with the star teams. Are we talking like Norwich? Are we talking Hull City? What exactly do you mean?
Teams I like a lot of 3-star teams, which is teams like, Norwich, teams that are in the bottom half of the Premier League, top half of the second league. Some Brazilian teams are good fun to play with as well because they've got a lot of fast players, a lot of skillful players. I just like to experiment, really. There's no team that I go all the time. A lot of people just choose Real Madrid and choose nobody else. But I like to just choose whoever I feel like, really. I just like to try new teams out.
All right, let's go back to Manchester United for a second because I know that this will be fun, and hopefully you will not get a bunch. Hopefully you will not get a bunch of crap with this. Who is your favorite Manchester United player of all time?
It's got to be Paul Scholes.
How come?
I guess you know who Paul Scholes is.
Oh, of course, of course. How come?
I think just because the type of player he is, he's got incredible ability. He's very unique for an English type of player. I mean, they're not very stereotypically technically good on the ball. I mean, that's a bit of a generalisation, but he was a unique player, and the way he handled himself off the pitch as well. You know, he stayed out of the limelight. He was just a very credible footballer with an amazing talent.
It should also be noted, Joe, that players with red hair also have no soul. So you have to remember that as well when you're taking that into consideration when you're picking Paul Scholes.
Counts, but Paul Scholes, you can't criticise him. I don't think any fan hates him, even Man City fans or Liverpool fans. Everyone just loves him because he's a great professional footballer.
Let me ask you this very quickly, and obviously I was joking, but let me ask you this very quickly, and then we'll let you go.
Okay.
Since Manchester City has been revamped and their entire roster has basically brought in such fantastic players with the revenue that they have and the money that they're spending, what kind of a scene is it in Manchester? I'd love to go one day. I would absolutely love to go. But what sort of scene is it in Manchester now that both teams are up to par instead of one dominating the other?
Well, obviously the games are a lot more competitive and it's a lot more fun now because it used to be just Man United winning every single season. It looks like it's going to turn around this season. It's going to be the other way around. But even before Man City were a great team, it was very split. There was a lot of Man City fans, but obviously they didn't have many bragging rights. I mean, only 10 years ago, I think they were in the second division. But obviously with the new owners now, they're just loaded and they can win pretty much anything. I mean, maybe even the Champions League this season. But it is a lot better. The rivalry is great. I mean, there's been some massive games over the last 2 seasons. Infamously, some 6-1 thrashing, but at the same time, we beat them 4-3 3 seasons ago, which was an amazing game. So yeah, I think it's good for the football club, Manchester United and Man City, that we've got a good rival that's so close to us.
Now, Joe, as we close out here on TOIT Sports, and we thank you again for a fantastic interview, where can people find your stuff and what exactly can you offer on your channel to many of the viewers that are watching this interview right now?
Well, when I started, I had a lot of ideas that I didn't see on YouTube. So I thought, you know what, why not just go on there and put them up myself? And which is exactly what I did. And I think a lot of people, they overcomplicate FIFA. They think it's really hard to get good. And it's not really. I mean, it sounds a bit generic, but it's a lot of practice. And there's certain little techniques that can help you get to a high level quicker. And that's what I try to do. I try to just provide some techniques and tips that will make you become a better player a lot quicker. And show that it isn't really hard to become a good player and to not lose games.
Now, lastly, can you please plug your Facebook, Twitter, YouTube channel name, everything that you got so people can check out your stuff one last time?
Well, I'm always a bit dubious plugging, but I guess my YouTube name is Mr. VimtoJoe. No, it's my YouTube name is Mr. VimtoJoe. Well, I guess you'll have it on there, so no point in spelling it out. And my Twitter, I mean, I don't use Twitter that much. I suppose I should get into it more. It's also the same. And a couple of weeks ago, I started streaming on Twitch. I mean, I haven't done too many streams, but it has been pretty fun. And that is also, as you might have guessed, Mr. VimtoJoe. So if you want to follow me or watch my streams or videos, then it's all one name. If you just type in Mr. VimtoJoe, you'll probably come up with all my Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch stuff in one go.
And if you want to check out more of Joe's stuff, all the links are in the description below. Joe, thank you so much again for this interview. We look forward to a lot more of your videos, more insightful and helpful tips on FIFA 14. Thank you very much again. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks very much for having me on.